Take me there, take me where I wanna go, to a quiet place. Take me there, take me where I wanna go, to a quiet place. My way, a new way. Try me on another day. I'm hard, I'm wise, I'm a book between the lines.
Hey you guys, it's your girl Pinkapooh with Entire Generation. But for real, I have a special guest and he's here to talk about something very important that I feel like you guys should really listen to, okay? This page is uncensored and it's also for everybody in this generation, okay? For one, no one talks about life insurance, right? No one talks about it in the community. And I think it's very important to have him today to talk to you guys about the important details that you may not even know about. So let's get started. So, what made you get into life insurance or real estate?
My family has a business for years, getting into real estate, which is a national progression. Um, and I've been doing that for a while. I had an experience maybe 2 years ago where a tenant died in a property.
Mm.
And, no disrespect to him, but my God, Jesus Christ, I never had to deal with the decomp body. And the body was sitting there for some time and, whew, Jesus Christ. Whew. But anyway, no disrespect. I mean, it's serious, but it made me realize that's what's going to be the end.
Right.
That's what your end's going to be. Maybe not to that level,
Right.
so I started thinking about me, and I started thinking about, do I have everything in line for my family? When my time comes, everybody's time is going to come. Is everything lined up? And unfortunately, this gentleman right here, I mean, he didn't have anything. His family was calling me, trying to get the security deposit to bury him. So that was a real eye opener to me. And in our community, we don't talk about it enough. Policy is very affordable. Different ways you can spend that cat. But I've been doing this maybe 6, 7 months now. I'm still taking some licenses, still taking some classes. But so far so good. Happy with it. And, but the main thing, I'm helping people.
Yes, that's very important.
Yeah.
So, what are some important details that you want to let people know about the policies, the pros, the cons?
The pros is I think everyone needs to have some type of plan. Whether you have, especially if you have children, if you don't, even if you don't have children, you should at least have a burial policy. I don't have that license yet. Working on that. But you need to have something. And if you're younger, I do recommend a term policy. The rates are affordable and you get more coverage. If you're older, over 40-ish, I do recommend getting a whole life policy. That builds cash value. You can pull cash from it. The rates are a little bit stable, but the rates won't change as you get older. Unfortunately, life insurance people, they do underwrite. They do kind of look at your age and discriminate whether they're going to, write your policy or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, any other details that you want to get in depth with when it comes to will? Because my question is honestly, when someone passed away, right? How would I know what they have if it hasn't been communicated?
Very good question. Very good question. I tell you, we could sit all day. I know we only have a few minutes, but that's another thing that we don't do a good job at. We don't take the time and have a will. And then if you have a will, you gotta tell somebody where it's at. You gotta tell somebody. You gotta tell your uncle. And I'll give you my experience. I have, I have some property. I have some stuff. I put all my stuff in this folder.
Mm-hmm.
I told my oldest daughter, I said, this is where my stuff is.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's time, I got phone numbers. I got, somebody who owe me money. When I get up there and cry, sit behind down. Sit down. You owe me some money. But anyway, that's a little joke. But anyway, my point is, we need to have a will. We need to tell somebody where it's at. And then we need to make sure that it's properly, the things that are in the will are properly done right. One thing that I see being in real estate is that, the older generation, not necessarily the younger generation, they'll have a property. They may leave a fifth to this person, a fifth to this person, and a sixth to that person. That's all well and good, and that's a good intentions,
Mm-hmm.
but it can really get ugly, especially if what they call probate's not done immediately.
Mm.
So basically, that means when you have a property, even though you have a will, it still has to go through the courts to
Mm.
get ratified. Still has to go through that. So really, the biggest thing to answer your question, make a long story short, have a will, tell somebody, then maybe file it with the courthouse so you can
Okay.
look it up with the courts.
Okay.
So that's one of the things that we have. But just going back to probate, probate is you know, I recommend if someone dies, if you have a uncle who dies who doesn't have any children, to go ahead and he has some property, go to probate immediately so the judge can ratify everything, certify everything. If you want to sell it, you want to keep it, fine. If you wait longer, someone could die, and that person's heir has rights. So it could be a whole mess. So you just have to, really, kind of know. And like I said, I'm not an attorney, not giving any legal advice, but I do know that you should, seek attorney or legal advice in those situations.
So, is there any loopholes when it comes to the will? Like, will it be respected in the court of the law, or is it just something personal amongst the family?
A person can challenge that. I mean, I've seen that happen. A person can challenge it. Said grandmama wasn't in the right frame of mind. It can be challenged, and that's why it's good to make sure you're doing that at a proper time. With an attorney, I recommend you can go to LegalZoom, you can go online to do it. But if you have an attorney, reputable attorney, he's gonna make sure those loopholes are not um, or open or closed, I should say, and that it shouldn't be problems with that. So, one thing that, if you are married, that, you don't have to have a will.
Hmm.
That's one benefit, I guess, to get married. If you buy a property and you buy it under joint tenancy and the husband dies,
Hmm.
automatically goes to the wife. Don't have to worry about it. So that's one benefit of, the laws. That's where the laws are in the books. Like I said, I'm not an attorney. I do know the importance of having your will, having your estate, not just property, but also a bank account. I mean, I've said, I had a landlord that had about 40,000 in a bank account. He died, but he didn't name a beneficiary in the will. He didn't have a will, and he didn't name a beneficiary with the bank. So
Wow.
the kids are trying to figure out how to get this 40,000. Of course, they want to go do whatever, and it was the judge had to kind of rule and kind of make a decision on that. He had to pay an attorney to do that. So we could save our children, our family money if we have everything lined up. So I do recommend just going to a great, a good real estate, good estate attorney, and let him set things up properly.
Okay. It was a situation I remember, like, a friend of mine had been living in this place, right? And the landlord passed.
Okay.
So all the property that everybody was living in, and the family had to find out all the property that he was selling or renting and everything like that. What happens in that situation? Like, because that is a crazy situation to happen. And it's kind of like, okay, what happened to the tenants? What happens, with that?
A very good question. I mean, I see it a lot in magistrate court. Um, if that happens to you and a family member tells you, you may have to move because, Big Daddy died or whatever, you can ask them to show proof that who is the correct owner, because only the landlord or only the person who has legal rights can evict you or ask you to move.
Right.
So in that situation, the best thing to do is to kind of work with the family a little bit. My advice would be to work with them to, if not, then make them show you proof that they have rights to do that. And either they're going to be a beneficiary of the estate,
Mm-hmm.
or the executor of the estate, I should say, to actually do that. Like I said, I'm not an attorney. But there is Georgia Legal Aid. If you ever find yourself in that position, you can call them and make an appointment with them, and they'll walk you through all the proper channels. But just if you're a tenant, the person who asked you to move has to actually have the authority to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, like I said, not everybody does these things the right way. So you have to make sure that person actually has the authority to ask you to move. But,
Okay, got you.
cool.
As far as this with the property and the trust.
Yeah, that's another thing. Trusts are really good. Trusts will save you from going to probate court, or make it a whole lot easier. And so if I had two houses, I would put the houses in a trust now, and I would name the person, whoever, my cousin, the executor of the trust,
Mhm.
and upon my passing, my cousin would, do my will, sell it or rent it out, give it
Mhm.
to people. And trust is something that's good. I do recommend doing a trust. Um, and like I said, any asset, it's just not just real estate. If you have stocks, you have 401k, you don't have a surviving spouse, then that's something that you really need to kind of sure that you have that squared away as well.
Okay, so just a question that might be thrown up. How do you start up a will, and how do you get everything signed, sealed, and kind of like put away?
Well, you can do a will on your own. If you are just talking about your wishes with children, with your bank account, you can actually go online. You can actually do that, and you can have it notarized. You can file a copy with the courthouse. You can do that on your own,
Okay.
right? And like I said, I told someone earlier, make sure you let someone know where the
That you
will
have a
is.
will.
Yeah. Like I said, I I had a conversation with my kids where, I put all my mortgages, car notes, bills, who owe me money. So they want to get up there talking about he was a great person and he owed me $600. I want my $600. Get up there. No, sit down. No, I buy all this in my book. I told my eldest daughter where it's at. So, so as far as like your will, you can actually, put a copy in there as well.
Okay.
So, you want to do that. You want to have that. And you also want to tell somebody. Where's that?
So the moral of it all, in order to get ready, be ready. Okay, paperwork got to be in check. Like you just seen, he had a notebook. He had everything in there for his loved ones to find, so it won't be havoc when that time comes for whoever. Everything will be prepared. You don't have to worry or stressed out because everything's in line. Hey, I even have a policy with him. Okay, my first policy, because I wasn't brought up to talk about having life insurance. I knew nothing about it, and I had to learn about it. He explained what it was, and I was interested. I have a child. I want to be ready. I want to have everything in order. When you agree?
Agree, 100%.
So, in closing, is there anything you want to share with them in regards to life insurance or just in general?
No, I mean the main thing is enjoy life. Don't take anything for granted. Respect everybody. And like I said, I think the last 2 years have taught us that anything can happen. And I look at life totally different. So just make sure you have some sort of game plan. And also, everybody, I got one or two crazy relatives. Everybody do. I done had a conversation. I say, hey, you got Jody's, a policy, is a burial plan, something. Don't come to me because I'm going to say something nasty. So there's no excuse. You got to have a plan because it's going to happen. So
Oh,
there's no reason.
you just made me notice something. Do I need somebody's permission in order to get a life insurance policy on them?
You have to make sure you're going to be able to get the death certificate. So that's the question. So
The actual death certificate,
yeah.
not a copy.
Yeah. So that's going to be the question. So if you want to get it on your cousin, will that family let you get that death certificate? That's the question.
Right.
But I mean, you can, and it also really depends on the policy too. most policies will want some type of acknowledgement that you're taking that policy out on someone. A lot of people do that. Our Caucasian brothers, they do that all the time. They take policies on cousins, uncles, brothers.
Without them
So,
knowing? You need their
no,
consent?
they agree to it. They agreed to it. They agreed to take the policy. Because they want to keep the churn in Calvary. They want to go to Hispanic Christian. And this is one way they do it because they have policies that's going to pay.
It's like they're paying for it. Why not?
Why not? Why not? But
And
we're
you can
them.
have that multiple life
Exactly.
insurance policies.
You can have multiple life insurance policies. So it's just something to think about. Like I said, I don't think life insurance is like I think it's just a safety thing. It's not and it can be beneficial. I mean, like I said, we're not wishing nobody die. We want everybody to be here healthy and long and enjoy life as possible. However, when that happens, you don't want to be in a situation where, Mom, are you crying because this ain't got no policy? That's why they crying. They ain't crying because
You
they
don't want to
miss
do
it.
a fish fry.
You want to have a fish fry and take up and pass the hat around. No, we don't want to do all that.
Get ready.
We want to have the policy, let somebody know where it's at, and let's keep it moving. Use some of that money to help the children, help the future. And like I said, I'm not going to talk about undertakers. That's a whole nother show. But they can, the average funeral is $10,000. But there's a lot of markups in that. There's a lot. That's a whole nother show. And don't get me wrong, I love Campbell and all. They're good people. However, it's a business. So, but if you have everything in order and you go and you approach to it, you don't get all emotional spending all your money
right
on the because I told my kids, I say, hey, no, I want the cheapest. I want this money to last. So don't be spinning a casket.
They want to go out with a bang.
You're gonna see that casket one time. That's it. That's it. Put me in something. Use the money for my grandchildren.
Yeah. So one last thing. Can a video be a way as a will?
Yes. I'm not an attorney, but I have seen where you can make, like I said, an attorney will walk you through that and have that signed off, but you can make a video. Yes.
That's pretty cool. I think I probably do that. I think that would be great for my family to know that they see me, I'm being myself. Yeah. Y'all know I'm gone.
Yeah.
But no, for you guys, thank you so much for being on here. This is some good stuff. This is something very important that is very useful for this community. Because come on now, let's get to it. Get everything in order. You don't gotta, like Brown used to say, this is your good. But this is your girl Pinkapooh, and this is Mr. Dave. Thank you for having.
Yeah, my number's in the. Just gonna put my number.
Yes, his information is gonna be below. Everything's gonna be below. Y'all can talk to him. Y'all can contact him if y'all have any questions.
Free quotes.
Yeah, free quotes. Why not? Get into it. Ask your questions, and I look forward you guys to watching more shows. Subscribe. Like that thing. Share that thing, and leave a comment below. And look forward to seeing you guys on my next show. We're gonna talk about faith on my next show, you guys. So stay tuned. And wish y'all the best. Thanks. Bye.